In southern Portugal, beyond the Tejo River, lies the region of Alentejo. Formerly one of the poorest regions of Europe, the last few years have seen the development of a sustainable, environmentally friendly tourism which takes account of the natural beauty of the region in stark contrast to the mass tourism of the Algarve on the Portuguese south coast. On the west coast of Alentejo, on the Costa Vicentina, lies a national park with an unspoiled coastline of rugged beauty. Since time immemorial, the locals have used the cliffs for fishing. The fishermen make their way along narrow paths through the dunes to their fishing spots, which are often quite precarious. In the last few years, these fishermen's paths have been recorded and signposted, thus creating the Trilho dos Pescadores, also known as Fisherman's Trail. The Fisherman's Trail consists of a 75-kilometre-long stretch between Porto Corvo and Odseish. We walked this trail in 4 stages from north to south and took our film equipment along with us.
First stage, from Porto Corvo to Vila Nova de Mil-Fontes. During our stay in Portugal, we receive advice and support from Rudolfo Müller, who informs us that walking 1 kilometre on sand is as exhausting as 2 kilometres on solid ground. As the first stage between Porto Corvo and Vila Nova de Mil-Fontes is a distance of 20 kilometres, principally through sand dunes, we take his advice and walk the first 5 kilometres on the day of our arrival and spend the night in a small guest house on the beach. On the way there, we soon learn how to find the signposts with the green and blue markers and to interpret them correctly.
Eu gosto muito de ouvir cantará quem aprendeu. Se houverá quem me ensinará.
The next morning, in addition to a hearty breakfast, our hosts provide us with a packed lunch and the obligatory 1.5 litres of water per person. On our way to Vila Nova de Mil-Fontes, we meet our first fisherman, and a little later also spot some storks nesting on the cliffs. We also appreciate why the Fisherman's Trail is not recommended for people who suffer from a fear of heights. After 12 kilometres, when we're approximately 3 kilometres from Vila Nova de Mil-Fontes, we reach the fishing harbour of the village. The remaining 3 kilometres stretch of the trail moves inland from the coast and is very dusty. We recommend calling a taxi from the village. One possibility is to spend the night in the Casa do Adro. Alternatively, you can use internet provided by the Casas Brancas to find an attractive place to stay and make a reservation in advance.
It seems obvious to cover the 4 stretches of the trail between Porto Corvo and Odseish on 4 consecutive days. This is certainly possible, and indeed the way we did it. However, with hindsight, we recommend taking a day's rest between each stage. In this way, you can take advantage of one of the many interesting opportunities offered by the countryside and the local people. In Vila Nova de Mil-Fontes, for example, This might be the soothing hands of Judith Schneider and Anna Raskin, who offer tranquility and relaxation in their stress-free zone. The surf school belonging to Felipe Quemada and Pedro Petera is decidedly more energetic. Following a delicious meal of local specialities in this restaurant in the harbour, we take a boat trip to Odemira and back on the Rio Mira. Rui Catalao from Duca Nautica navigates us and the other passengers safely through the nature reserve and can give us lots of interesting facts about the flora and fauna.
The second stage from Vila Nova de Mil Fontes to Almagraf is the shortest, being 15 kilometers in length. In order to reach the coast on the far side of the river, you must cross the bridge and find the path leading through the fields to the coast. Peace, tranquility, a constant light sea breeze, the occasional diversion provided by cows or storks, but only so much as is needed to keep the head free and to afford the leisure to admire and enjoy the stunning vegetation.
Está no ar o perfume desta terra, humana e pura, que aqui se estendeu.
Towards the end of this stage, the path becomes a little dusty, and in the evening we enjoy the opportunity of taking a dip in Maria do Carmo's pool.
Almagraf is a very small village visited mostly by surfers and sun worshippers. Otherwise there is little to see. Thus we take the opportunity to go back in our story and relate what we discovered the day before in Odemira. First we visited Helena Luhrmanns. She runs her own weaving mill, producing clothes, scarves and also umbrellas from various fabrics and materials. After a short walk through the town, we visit Beatrice's chocolate factory. We taste the remarkable handmade chocolate creations.
Gengibre cristalizado y sultanas o pasas de uva.
At 22 kilometers, the third stage is the longest. The path is the destination, a motto that applies to this stage as to the others. Here there is nothing to disturb the serenity. The rambler has only himself, his thoughts, and the countryside for company. Unless, that is, a donkey suddenly appears on the Fisherman's Trail. We meet Sophia von Menzingen and her friends, and Mocha the donkey. Sophia invites us to visit her donkey sanctuary near Algesur. Today's destination lies 2 kilometers inland from the Fisherman's Trail. Many guest houses provide a collection service by car to save their guests an inconvenient detour in the evening. Ask your host for details. Communication with the locals in English is no problem.
Today we accept the invitation offered by Sophia von Menzingen and visit her and her partner Elsa Ribeiro at their donkey sanctuary near Algesur. Elsa works with many different natural materials and gives craft lessons which are very popular with children. Sophia is passionate about her donkeys and offers hiking tours with them. During our boat trip to Odemira, Rui Catalão had told us about stables belonging to one of his friends, where we would be able to see the famous Portuguese Lusitano horses. We make contact with Rui Gracia and his wife Pamela and visit them a few days later at their Naturata Campo stables in the small town of São Luís.
Fourth stage, Zambujeiro do Mar, with its beautifully situated beach, is particularly popular. The walk from here to Odsais passes through very varied countryside and is arguably the most beautiful of the 4 stages. The path is solid underfoot. We can walk the last 18 kilometers without great effort. Complete our 4-day, 75-kilometre walk with a superb view over the bay and beach of Odsais. This is the end of our wonderful trip.
On the western tip of Europe, we have encountered not only gratifyingly unspoilt natural surroundings, therefore we would like to express our gratitude to Rodolfo Müller, who not only assisted us in researching this film, but was also our host in the days following our walk. Also to Rui Catalão from Duca Nautica Boat Tours, who provided us with much assistance. We would also like to thank the Portuguese musicians from the Zoo and Alma Plana, as well as Miriam Miles from Sydney. Additional interesting information and safety guidelines concerning the trail can be found in the enclosed booklet, which you should take with you on your walk. We would like to make one closing remark. Due to its classification as a coastal nature reserve, the southwest coast of Portugal enjoys special protection. Please bear this in mind during your walk and ensure that you follow the instructions provided for the preservation of this beautiful region. Thank you.
Braços abertos estou com